Alien Earth's first 2 episodes have dropped, and right after that we got a trailer for what to expect of the upcoming season. And you know what, guys? We got a lot of brand new footage, a look at maybe a new xenomorph ability that's very weird that we haven't seen before, and potentially a new alien made entirely. And we're gonna get right into it. No fluff on this shit. No fluff at all, right? So our main character, if you haven't seen the first 2 episodes, do not watch this video. This is going to be spoilers for the first 2 episodes. Her brother gets captured by a xenomorph, literally gets kidnapped. It launches itself at her brother, and we're picking up right where we left off, and she's chasing after the xenomorph to find her brother and tracking him down. I believe the xenomorph has probably taken her brother to a makeshift nest that it's creating. That's what xenomorphs fucking do when they don't kill you right away, I guess. And besides, he's a main character, he has plot armor, right? So they gotta do something with him. So I believe that the xenomorph is taking him and making a nest. Only question is, where are the eggs that are usually there when the nest is built? The laboratory has all the eggs. So I'm wondering if the xenomorph really is taking it to a nest or is doing something else. I believe the xenomorph is different than xenomorphs we've seen in the past, yo. Okay? And I'm gonna get to why. Then we have some debate with some of the characters, some of the scientists about, okay, what are we gonna do with these freaking AI hybrids that we've created? They're little kids in robot bodies. They're gonna be running around thinking they're actually human and wanting human lives. What are we gonna do about that? And if they try to revolt against us, which many of them probably will, let's be real, we know how these AI movies and shows go, we're gonna need to kill them. And we're essentially killing kids. So it's an interesting moral dilemma for some of the scientists, but it's occupying a story we've seen before many times, and I don't want them to dwell too much on, oh, AI going rogue, because we've seen that so many fucking times. You need to, unless you're making the characters really, really interesting, which they're not to me yet, we'll see. I don't want them to go too crazy on that, all right? Some interesting experiments going on with the actual xenomorph eggs themselves. We have Timothy Oliphant's character, who's a synthetic, actually experimenting and dissecting one of the xenomorph eggs. Finally, we get to see what it's like actually dissecting some of these eggs. We saw hints of it in Alien Resurrection, but not fully. And he starts to see what this facehugger truly is. And I'm wondering, okay, in Alien Romulus, they started experimenting on xenomorph body parts and facehuggers, and they found the pathogen. They procured the pathogen as a result of going into the xenomorph DNA. I don't know if they're exploring pathogen in the show. I think they might be, from some shots I saw from some of the early teaser trailers of Alien Earth. And if they do, we could be getting a retread of something similar where they find pathogen and start to experiment with it and creating hybrids and all that shit. But I don't know if they're going to repeat that same thing. Now, here's a big thing about this trailer, and it was teased in the final episode. Our main character, this synthetic, she's able to hear these aliens. It's like they're speaking to her. She's able to hear these sounds, and even in the trailer, like, it's hinted at that they're actually communicating. She literally says in the trailer, they're talking to me. Is it the xenomorph that's communicating with her? I would assume it is. We saw something similar with Alien Resurrection, where Ellen Ripley's clone was able to hear xenomorph sounds and kind of communicate with them and sense them. But that's because she had alien DNA within her. She had a xenomorph queen inside of her, and when she was cloned, she was essentially kind of like a mini hybrid. As dumb and ridiculous as that movie was, at least there's some reason for why she's able to communicate. I don't know why she would. I don't know how her consciousness is linked to the xenomorphs at all. Is there a connection to the xenomorph hive mind? Is this our first introduction to a live-action xenomorph hive mind that was shown in the comic books? I don't know. But what's interesting is, these two discuss that when a hostile alien decides to speak, there's usually a reason. Something is different with this xenomorph, with this breed of xenomorphs. I'm telling you. And in the comic books, the xenomorph hive mind, there was a center at the hive mind, and that was the Lady in Dark, the Lady in Black. Now listen, I know I mentioned this many times. If you've seen my videos on Alien before, I've harped on this concept and why Disney, Fox, or whoever's running the Alien live action shows, they should use the Lady in Dark. That's the Lady in Dark is this cosmic, almost Lovecraftian entity that exists in the far corners of the universe, and people who have survived a chest burster incident, they're linked to the hive mind because part of the xenomorph is in them, right? It's forever in them, and the trauma combined with whatever DNA they've been exposed to, they're linked to the hive mind forever. And when they see the hive mind, human beings specifically, they see the Lady in Dark in the back, almost speaking to them. It's like death calling on to life from the far reaches of the universe. It's very interesting, very creepy kind of lore, and I fucking hope to God that they go into it, because it's one of the most interesting things in the entire Alien canon, in my opinion. comic books and movies combined. Like, it is. And like, imagine this dark force, which I'm not saying the Lady in Dark has to be like a real person or like a hybrid woman or something. I'm saying it's like a manifestation of the force of xenomorphs, the force of death itself in the universe, calling on to life as bait. And human beings have manifested in their brains as a person, as like a human-alien hybrid. That makes sense to me. I have to ask again, why her? In fact, there's a shot of these two. They're clearly doing scans on her to figure out what's wrong with her mind, her brain, like her synthetic brain. How is she able to do this? And I guarantee they're not going to be able to figure out. This will not be revealed until like the end, like the finale or some shit. And maybe it's not a xenomorph that's communicating with her at all. Maybe it's a bait and switch. Maybe there's a different being out there entirely. And I'm going to get to what being that could be. All right? We do see this. When I first saw this, I thought this was like one of those synthetic grown human hearts that, you know, doctors and scientists have figured out how to grow, like 3D print and grow hearts and shit synthetically. This is clearly not a heart. It's an alien sac or embryo of some kind that's carrying a being within it. We see something like pushing out of it in the trailer. And I thought to myself, is this our first look at a synthetically created alien being, like a creature of some sort? Because there's a fan theory that Prodigy will create their own synthetic xenomorph. You know, they're going to use the concept of the xenomorph they found and synthetics and create this ultimate hybrid. It's like Prodigy's dream, Prodigy's goal of having these synthetic hybrids, but also using the perfect organism, which is a xenomorph, and combining them into this beautiful angel. We do see some creature slithering out of it, and I don't know what this is. I thought it could be this thing. There's another shot in the trailer of this transparent fish-like creature that's put in water. Now, I think this is too small to be what this is. It just looks too small. You can see. Is that a face hugger? Or a finger? That does not look like a human finger. That looks like a bony skeleton finger. I think that might be a face hugger, yo. It looks like a face hugger is literally on the loose while this fucking thing is in the water. What the fuck? Someone plucked this into the water while there's a face hugger here. Maybe it's dead, I guess. Something weird's going on. Something really weird's happening here. I don't know what. And then we just see shots of the goat. They're going to experiment on this poor goat and have T. ocellus go into its eyeball, latch into its face, and then take control of it. Like, we kind of figured that's what was happening with this creature from the trailers. But yeah, this is going to be one of the most disturbing scenes in the fucking show, because we're going to see what it's like for this thing to fully go inside. I would really like to see what happens. What happens to the actual eyeball of the goat? Does it fall out? It's disgusting, man. And then, this is another cool shot. T. ocellus and the plant alien are in the same vicinity. They're in the same cage, seemingly. Who wins? Who takes over? I guarantee you the plant is going to kill it. The plant has like these weird, strong tentacles that latch out for organic life. What if it grabs T. ocellus and just smothers it and molests it from inside? Now, there's a chance that T. ocellus could do some shit inside, but I feel like T. ocellus is in need of some kind of central brain system. I don't know if the plant's organics will work with it, so this could be the end of T. ocellus, but it does look like someone shooting into the cage and letting them out. So I think T. ocellus is in this for the long run. I think T. ocellus is going to have a confrontation with the xenomorph later, because from the looks of it, I don't know how T. ocellus wins this. The xenomorph is acid. If the T. ocellus tries to go inside of it, into its face, and try to find an eyeball or whatever, the T. ocellus is going to get burned alive by the acid. It's going to dissolve. He's fucked if he tries to do anything to the xenomorph. And that's if the xenomorph doesn't use its tail to grab the squid thing and throw it into a wall or some shit. You know, like, I don't know if T. ocellus could actually take control of the xenomorph, because it would have to contend with the acid blood when it gets inside. I think it has a better shot against the plant, to be honest. Then we have scenes of maybe these rogue synthetics are turning on their scientists. We know something like that's going to happen. This happens in every single plot that involves, oh, we created an AI, oh, they're going to turn on us. The fucking same shit happens. Will they turn on us? Will they have minds of their own? Will they want to live their own life? This happens in every story like this. This is kind of why I don't want them to delve into this too much, because unless they do it amazingly well, it could just be cliche. And I don't think most of these synthetic characters are that interesting to begin with. We'll see. We'll see. There's still many episodes left. The xenomorph is in a cage, like in this glass cage, okay? Something's wrong with it. Something's wrong with its head, okay? I'm gonna get into it. So, remember in Alien Resurrection when the xenomorphs similarly are in those glass cages in the ship, and they use their acid blood to get out. They kill one of each other and use their acid blood. I think this thing is gonna escape. I think they're gonna capture it, and I'm gonna show you exactly how they capture it later. They're going to capture it. It's going to escape into the wild. They're going to send soldiers after it, and it's going to fuck a lot of them up. There's a shot of the xenomorph in the woods. Such a great shot, by the way. Look at that fucking shot. Amazing. But look at the skin. What's wrong with his head? It looks like it's peeling or something. It looks like it's malnourished. It looks like it was put in a cage for a long portion of time without food or resources, and it was going astray. Something about its skin was going astray. Maybe they exposed it to something too. Maybe they injected something to it or put some gas, I guess. I don't know. But it looks off. And that makes me think, if it was malnourished, first of all, what do xenomorphs eat? Has there been a clear answer to this question? I assume they eat organic flesh after they've killed someone and eat its corpse. But I've never actually seen it. I always assumed they just absorbed energy from the surroundings, from the initial embryo stage to when they grow. Because when a xenomorph grows as fast as it does, there's not that much food for it to eat. We don't see it eating that much food to grow. It just grows really fast. I think it's energy absorption at a high level. And with the acid blood, their composition, I feel like they would dissolve inorganic matter too. Now, there's a deleted scene in Alien 3 which does reveal that the xenomorphs eat anything. They ate the food reserves of many of the people in this prison or whatever. So, I don't know. Apparently they eat fucking everything. Which makes me think, okay, but Alien Resurrection, they didn't starve when they were put in these glass cages for... I feel like they were here for a long portion of time before escaping. They fucking killed one of their own xenomorphs to escape. But that's because they kept getting this gas shot at them. Maybe that's what's happening in Alien Earth. But nothing happened to them. They were cool. Which is why I think there's something different about the xenomorph. I don't think this is the same kind of xenomorph we've seen before. It just has different traits to it. We do see a final shot where it's trying to kill someone. I think it might be the brother of the main character. This brother can't catch a break with the xenomorph. The xenomorph just wants this guy's ass really badly. Alright, it's trying to kill him. And it looks like there's going to be a fight scene with all the synthetics. And it... 1, 2, 3, and 4. The main character. 4 synthetics are trying to fight this xenomorph. Now, these synthetics, they're strong. They're fast. They're like, what, 3, 4, 5 times stronger than us? You need to be it looks like she's trying to crowbar this creature's tongue. And they're trying to control it. Now, I appreciate that it's taking a large number of synthetics to fight this creature. Be very, very careful. I hope that the writers and the directors are very, very careful with how... I believe they're going to capture the xenomorph here and put him in a glass cage, and then it's going to escape later. I think that's the sequence of events we're seeing here. They need to be careful about how they contain the xenomorph. They might shoot that electro blast at it. It doesn't look like that's what's happening. It looks like they're trying to physically fight it and stop it. Be very careful. You're about to piss off a lot of fans if the xenomorph gets easily dispatched here. I need the xenomorph to kill at least a few of these synthetics. I need some of these people to die, y'all. I don't even care about most of them, to be honest, but some of them need to die. We don't want fans going crazy like, oh, they nerfed the xenomorph. Can you imagine that statement being said? They nerfed the xenomorph. We saw how ferocious this creature was. It nuked everybody in 2 seconds. I want to see it kill at least 2 synthetics if we're going to capture it alive, okay? The final thing I want to talk about is this. There's a shot of this dude in the first 2 episodes. They keep coming back to the shot, so it's purposeful. He is spraying something on this mold in this broken down door. What happened there? First I thought, okay, is this as a result of another alien life form? Were they experimenting on something here? I don't think so. I don't think they were experimenting on alien life before the events of this show. I think that there was another synthetic that they were creating with an adult mind that went rogue, or something went wrong with it. Some experimentation went wrong with it and it caused damage and mold for some reason. I don't know why. It really reminds me of the Elden storyline where we have a synthetic that something happens to it and it goes rogue and it becomes less synthetic and more alien in nature. I believe something similar could be happening here. There's a reason why they switched to kids. Why is he obsessed, the CEO, obsessed with putting kids' minds into bodies? Think about that. I believe they experimented with adult minds and something would go wrong every time, which made him think this is the way to go. And we might see the consequences of that later in the show. And I do think maybe that guy is the one fucking around with her and communicating. I think there might be another being pulling strings here. Who knows? By the way, this shot killed me. Everyone's been talking about this shot on social media. This is one of the funniest random ass shots I've ever seen. And I died laughing when I saw this. I think Noah, the director, I think it's a mistake to put visual shots like this, because You're spoon feeding the audience and you don't need to. I don't think these are necessary at all. Oh, we need to show her thoughts so we can illustrate what's happening. So we're gonna put fucking Sid the Sloth on the screen, bro. Don't do that. Don't. You're gonna get roasted, and this scene has been roasted to smithereens online. I laughed my ass off. This didn't ruin the show for me, but it's stuff like this where I question sometimes the directing quality of the show. Like, bro, you don't need to do this. They do this a lot in the first episode, especially, where they show what people are thinking with these subtle visual shots, but they're not subtle at all. It's like, bro, come on now, you can do better. Yeah. Besides that, be very careful with how you have these synthetics fight the xenomorph. We don't want a bunch of people complaining that these synthetic little bitches are fighting off a xenomorph easily. And stop doing shots like these, please. Thank you very much. Those are my thoughts on that. I cannot wait for next Tuesday, y'all. If you want to know my thoughts on the first 2 episodes of Alien Earth, you can watch my video on that over here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.